universe, and thank you so much for channeling in again to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Uni and this is my channel Universe. I like to focus on beauty for the time being, but I'm also a fashion lover, so if you'd like to follow my Instagram, I will put a link below. And today I will be doing my second beauty tutorial after I recently started my content in English. So if you are channeling in as my Korean audience, I do apologize, but you will get the gist of it. So today I want to show you guys how I achieve my no makeup look. This idea came along because a lot of people are actually into very natural looking makeup these days, but as Korean, we are always into making beauty look effortless and flawless but super natural at the same time. And also, I recently got my eyebrows laminated, and if you haven't seen this video yet, please check here. Which is a very interesting process, and I highly recommend getting your eyebrows laminated if you want to achieve a very natural look on top of your makeup. So let's just get to it. Yay! So to achieve my no makeup look, it is very important that I start with a different way of putting my base makeup. So I've already done all my skincare, and I have a lot of breakouts because if you are new to my channel, I'm actually 15 weeks pregnant. I'm doing very well. I don't have any morning sickness. I don't vomit at all, but I do have a lot of pimples, very marginal, like literally, because they're mostly around my face and it's not literally like in the middle of my face like during puberty, so which is great, but I have a lot of pimples going on, and so that's the only thing that I have to deal with these days. But otherwise, my skin is all prepped, doing pretty well. And so I'm going to start with this Laura Mercier Flawless Skin. It's actually a daily face shield, but more like a face sun cream, and it's SPF 40, but you will see that the texture is very liquid. Almost like toner or serum. So I like to put this as my base because it just gives a really fluid texture to my skin when other base makeup can be very matte and dry. And so I just like to start by using this and just apply it all over using my finger. And since it's not like pigmented color kind of makeup, but since it's white, it also kind of sets the tone to my face, because as an Asian, as a Korean, my face tend to have this yellowy sheer all the time, and so I like to sort of brighten that up a little bit whenever I get a chance. So after that, I will be using NYX Studio Photogenic, and this is a primer, and you will see that the color is sort of greenish. It's not one of those primers where they look totally green, totally blue, totally purple. I would say if you want to make your set base makeup to look a little brightened up from a yellowish sheer of your face, then go for something that is like greenish or bluish. If your face reddens more and it's more of the pale pink tone, which is more like a cold tone, whereas mine is more like a warm tone, I would say definitely go for the purple. But I mean, it's not too much of a difference. So just to show you the effect, I'm gonna put the primer on half of my face first. And I'm just gonna use my beauty blender. I'm gonna wet it with my Olay, my Olay mist. There we go, Olay mist. I like to wet it just using my mist because I find that wetting your beauty blender with water can sometimes just dilute the product that you have on your face. So I'm just gonna blend this out all the way. If you like to use a foundation brush for doing this, that's totally fine as well. I just happen to be very comfortable like sort of using this squishy motion of the blender, and also my current foundation brush isn't the best one yet, so I'm just gonna stick to the blender. So I'm trying to make sure that I can show you the difference of putting the half. So this half has the primer on, and this half only has the Laura Mercier's sun cream on. It's not too much of a difference because it's still giving this sort of pale look, but I would definitely say this part is more luminescent, whereas this part is getting a little dry. So let me put the rest of my product on the other face. So now that I have set a sort of overall tone to my face, I'm just going to finish up with this SON&PARK, which is a Korean brand, and it's called Beauty Filter Cream. If you've seen any of my tutorials, I love this cream. And it's sort of my alternative for what I used to usually use the stove cream from MAC. I think it's stove cream or strobe cream. So basically it's like a base cream that you put before you put your base makeup on, but it has like that luminescent sheer in it, and so it gives you like a glow even if you cover it up with foundation. And this has a very similar effect, and so recently I've been obsessed with this cream. So I'm going to apply that on top of my primer so that I get a little glowy effect. Honestly, if I didn't have my fingernails done, I'm a big fan of just using my fingers, and I still try my best. I'm just gonna go in with this to blend it all out. Okay, so you can definitely see that I have a little bit more paler complexion and a bit more of this whiteness going on. I'm just gonna use my blender over my lids too, so it matches the color. Okay, so that is 3 steps of the important part that I like to use for achieving my no makeup look. Now I'm going to move on to putting more colors on. So because it's a no makeup look, I am not going to use my full coverage foundation, but I'm going to use this compact from Neutrogena. And it basically is similar formula, but it is in a compact form. And it can be very helpful to sort of apply this very evenly but thinly throughout your face. I'm going to use my beauty blender again, wet it on the wide part, and I'm just going to use the beauty blender to get the product on, and I'm literally just going to apply this all over my face. There we go. So that is after my foundation, but a very sheer layer. And next step, I'm going to use some concealer from CoverGirl. And I would say throughout the whole process of this makeup, this is the only part in the base makeup that is actually going to give a lot of visual effect. Like it's the most prominent like coverage. So I'm gonna just apply under my eyes and a little bit on my forehead, on my nose bridge, a little bit on my cupid's bow, and on my chin. And I'm going to apply a little bit on my jawline, but a little bit above. And then I'm using my beauty blender again. I'm gonna wet it just a little bit on the tip. And I'm gonna blend it out. It's actually a little funny because since my base makeup was very pale, the concealer doesn't show too much, but it's more to sort of give a little bit of complexion, I guess, because it turns out the color that I use of my concealer, which is M200 and Warm Beige, this was actually a little bit darker than my actual complexion that I have achieved before. Now I'm applying a little bit of color on. So I'm going to use NYX concealer palette. It's Conceal Correct Contour palette, so it has all these different colors. I've been using it a lot. So I'm just gonna take 2 of these very natural tones. So I'm going to use my not so favorite but foundation brush. It's actually from Wet n Wild, and the only reason I don't like it so much is because I feel like the product just goes too much into the brush rather than being on my face. But I don't have another choice right now, so I'm gonna use this. I'm just gonna use a little bit of this and this color, put it together, and I'm gonna gently put it in my forehead, a little bit on my jawline, and then a little bit on my cheekbones. And then I'm gonna use my blender to put it, take a bit more, put it a little bit in the inner parts of my eye to accentuate my nose a little bit. So now I'm just gonna blend all of that out. There we go. And again, it is very subtle. It isn't like one of those full coverage makeups where you want to put all different sorts of color and let it show as much as possible and do like the maximum contour. This is a very everyday, like no makeup look. So, you know, some people who are not good with makeup could see maybe that you have no makeup on. That's the whole purpose. And so whatever I put on, it's not too excessive and it's still very natural. So next up, I'm going to use Becca's Chloe Malika collaboration palette. This is actually a Becca BFF's bronze, blush, and glow palette. So if you open it up, this super cute packaging, there are 4 different types of palette. And so this is more like a highlighter, these 2 are more like blush, and this is like a bronzer. So I'm actually going to use the bronzer to begin with because again, this is a very sort of natural look. So I'm gonna use this very fluffy brush from Wet n Wild, the other way around, and I'm going to take this bronzer . And then I'm gonna put it where I put my concealer on my cheekbones. I'm just gonna make a circular motion so it doesn't become too prominent. Take that again. I'm gonna go up a little and give that natural like bronze glow. And I'm gonna take more of this and put it on my forehead so that I don't look too pale. And then lastly, around my jawline. Okay, so you can see that I have a little bit more complexion than before, but it's definitely not too much. So now I am going to use a highlighter brush, also from Wet n Wild, and I'm just going to use a little bit of this highlighter. And I'm just gonna apply it very lightly on the higher cheekbone, so that instead of giving a too like obvious highlight, I'm just gonna put it where when the sun hits, it might just show. And I'm gonna use on top of my nose bridge, a little bit on the forehead, a little bit on the cupid's bow, and then the chin. There we go. So that's done with my very mild contour. I'm just gonna use my eyelash curler. I just like to do that before I apply any eye makeup on, because I know the excess gets onto the eyelash curler if you do it too much towards the end. And then I'm gonna use this essential eye tool from Urban Decay, and I'm only gonna use this lash brush to brush up my brows. And because they are laminated already, they are somewhat very full and look very polished without me drawing my eye lines. But I'm definitely gonna do something because I am super excited that I finally found a new palette of this. So this is my favorite palette from Chanel, Perfect Brows. And I actually bought this palette like when it was out in the market, and it looks this cute packaging. You open it up and you have these brushes. Oops, a little small like angular brush. And then you have a tweezer, a little black Chanel tweezer. And you open it up and you have 3 shades. And the most important part why I love this palette is actually because of this tiny little brush. And so basically this brush, it's a little rough, but it's like very squarey. So it helps to sort of draw the shape of the brow that I want to achieve. And they are discontinued from Chanel, so now they are not providing this brush anymore, and so I had to stick to my old palette, which is like broken, like my mirror's broken, all broken and almost gone, but I had to keep using this because of this brush. So I'm still gonna keep it because it's very hard to get these, but I'm super happy that today I'm going to use my new brush. I'm gonna take this brush, I'm gonna take the medium color in the middle, just brush it up like that. Ooh, look at that. I'm gonna blow out the excess. And basically what I do is I'm gonna draw a very simple line at the bottom of my lashes using this brush. More, and then that helps to like sort of form the shape that I want to create, and then I just fill in the rest on the top. I might use a more darker shade as well because my brows are very black. I'm gonna mix this one and this one. And then there we go. So I'm just gonna clean this excess out. As you can see, the brow mascara itself has drawn very like small little lines on my brow skin. And so it just gave a very natural effect already. So I'm now just gonna finish that up using my favorite brush again. And because there's some product from the mascara, it will actually help for this palette to stick in. I'm gonna brush a little bit like that. And then voila, those are my brush. Those are my brows. So from the brows that don't have anything done versus my brows done, it's not too much of a difference, but there's definitely a little bit more of a shape to it, but both are super natural. So now I'm gonna do the other side. So my brows are done. I'm gonna move on to my eye makeup. So I'm gonna go back to this palette. I'm going to take a firm little brow brush. I'm taking the lighter color and I'm gonna apply that on my eyelid, all over. Now I'm going to take my Too Faced White Peach palette and I'm going to try to make a very natural color cut crease using this peach cream with a very small brush. And I'm going to take a fluffy brush and take the peach sorbet, take this color, and I'm just gonna blend it out on my crease in between my cut crease and my base color. Go. Now I'm going to take the same brush, take the fuzzy color, and I'm just gonna put it all over my crease. Oops, I just went everywhere. This is why you need to make sure you do a little with your brush before you apply it on. I'm just gonna put it on my crease and clean the excess out using my blender. There we go. To just take lastly with peach suede, it's such a gorgeous color even if it's for another makeup. And then take the excess out and I'm gonna go to the corner of my eyes and just apply it right there. And then just bring it up a little like that. There we go. Okay, so now I have done my eye makeup. I'm just gonna do a little bit of liner, but since this is a no makeup look, I'm not going to put like a bold black eyeliner that I really like, and instead I'm going to use this Maybelline, what is it called? Eyeliner, and the color is Espresso, and it's a crayon eyeliner. So I'm gonna apply it on the wing of my crease like that, and also at the end of my eyeline, and let them meet. And I'm gonna put a little bit more like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this very thin brush. I'm not sure if you guys can get from the same brand because I got this ages ago from Korea. But I love this little brush here because you can be very accurate about your line. So now I'm just gonna draw that in all the way in. and sort of blend in all of that liner so that it just creates like a longer eye look, but it doesn't necessarily create a line like an eyeliner. And I'm just gonna blend that inwards. So basically it just drew my crease a little thicker. There we go. I'm gonna clean up the excess a little bit. And that's it. So I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Voila. So my eye makeup is almost done. Last but not least, I'm going to take the Sephora, it's a crayon, it's a shadow and liner crayon, so it's like glitter color. I'm just gonna put this in the inner corners of my eye, upper lid, a little bit, and on the front of my lower eye line, like that, and also on this side, and a little bit here. There we go. Lastly, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Paris matte liner. It is color Caramel Blondie and it's very close to my lip color. And it's not exactly a liner, so I'm gonna draw like a liner using this. To give more definition. And then I'm going to use this Hourglass. I actually can't read the name. It's the Girl Peacemaker. I think that's the color name. But it actually looks very cute like this. So it's like a mixture of lipstick and liner. And it's like pointy like a crayon. And I'm just gonna... And that's it.